like nobody there had ever seen any of them. So how many people here have ever watched any of the makeover shows? Yay. 1, 2, 3, 2 of us. Okay, so there's the Extreme Makeover, the People edition, not the Home edition. There's Biggest Loser is in that vein. There's FX. There's all these. So I had seen a couple of episodes.
Undercover Cop.
Undercover Cop. Well, that's a different.
Oh, Undercover Boss.
That's a reality show too, but not so much a makeover show. So in the makeover shows, people send in a video of all their faults, their physical flaws, the things that are keeping them from happiness in life. Their double chin, their bad teeth, any number of things. Usually weight is involved in it, but and so if they get chosen, they get to go and spend, I don't know how long, 3 months, varying amounts of time, usually in some kind of a mansion, and a battery of workout experts, diet experts, plastic surgeons, dental surgeons. There's a lot of dentistry in these shows. Has at it, and they have to participate too, of course. And sometimes in some of them there's a competitive quality. Some of them, don't make it, like in Biggest Loser. But I think in Extreme Makeover, if you're in, you're in. You just get to be transformed. And of course, the camera's always rolling, and there's tons of interviews. So today we are imagining that Jesus is being viewed by this show as a makeover contestant, and that the resurrection from the dead is like the ultimate in makeovers. And we're going to see the show after the show. So I invite Mary, Thomas, and Peter, who are the interviewees today, to come forward. And I'm going to just utterly transform myself by putting on a star. Adrian was supposed to read this, but Adrian got called to New York. And then Jess got called to Long Island. So many thanks to Paul for filling in. Okay, so let me just make sure that my makeup and all that is all right.
4, 3, 2, 1, and we're live.
And welcome to after the Extreme Makeover, the follow-up, where we get to use all the footage that didn't make it into the original show, and we get a whole new hour of programming. Applause, applause, applause. Now, some of you may have seen last week's show, which featured the ultimate extreme makeover of all time, the resurrected Jesus Christ himself. He is risen. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. I'm telling you, that was amazing. What a job they did on him. He looked terrific. And after all he'd been through. But we are here tonight to talk to his best buddies about his big reveal. What they were feeling, thinking. How did he seem after all that dying and rising? So Peter, let's start with you. I hear he made the most dramatic entrance for a reveal yet. The reveal is when the final product is shown to all of the friends. I hear he made the most dramatic entrance for a reveal yet. Just came right through the walls.
Well, I'm not sure I'd really call it a reveal. I mean, he wasn't a contestant on your show.
But it was quite a makeover, right? I mean, Jesus died. He was buried. And he came back from the dead with a whole new body. That's just how many of our contestants describe their time with us. Only we take 3 months to do it. He did it in 3 days. Just astonishing.
With all due respect, you're not God.
Well, I guess we're not. Although we're almost as good at makeovers.
I wish you'd stop calling it a makeover. This is resurrection that we're talking about, not a makeover. Jesus rose from the dead. Nobody's ever done that before.
Now, you're Thomas, right? I hear you missed the whole reveal and didn't believe it was him.
It wasn't a reveal. It was an appearance.
Whatever. Now, Thomas, is it true he was so transformed you didn't even believe it was him?
Well, I wasn't there when he first appeared in the upper room, and when I got back, he'd already gone. And they were all full of this story about how he just showed up and said, "Peace be with you," and showed them his wounds, and breathed on them, and Who would believe that? Who would believe that? I thought they'd crack under the pressure of the past few days.
You mean you actually thought we were all lying or deluded? Don't you know us?
Well, nothing was normal anymore. I couldn't believe anything. And then these other guys came running back from Emmaus saying they'd seen him down there too.
Didn't that get you thinking at least?
I wasn't going to believe it until I saw him, and I touched him for myself.
So, what was it like when you did see him? Did you see his scars? Did they do a good job of blending them into his skin?
Well, he wasn't trying to hide his scars. He was trying to show them.
Really? Wow. On our show, we have the best plastic surgeons, and you can't even tell they've done anything. Their work is seamless.
Well, for the 800th time, miss, Jesus wasn't on your show. His body looked perfectly good. No bruises, no cuts, even though he'd been whipped and beaten only a few days before. But the wounds from the nails, they were there. Clean, healed, but very much there. Otherwise, how would we know beyond a shadow of a doubt that it was him?
Some of us don't have to know beyond a shadow of a doubt, Thomas. Some of us just believe.
Oh, yeah. You didn't even recognize him, and you were the first one to see him.
Oh, so you saw him before his reveal? We never let the friends see them before the big moment.
How many times do we have to tell you, lady? He wasn't on...
Mary, you were the first. It must have been amazing. Tell us everything you were feeling. Where were you? What were you doing?
Well, it was very early in the morning. We'd gone to anoint his body with the burial spices, since we couldn't do it on Friday. And when we didn't find his body in the tomb, and that stone rolled away, I assumed they'd taken his body. Like what they did to him when he was alive wasn't enough. Now they had to steal his body, too.
You must have been so frightened.
I didn't know what I was thinking. Yes, I was scared, angry, exhausted. But when I saw this guy there, I just assumed he was the gardener. It was barely light yet, and I couldn't possibly have expected.
Of course not. Did he speak to you?
He said, "Woman, why are you weeping?"
And you still didn't know it was him? That was some makeover, all right.
Not until he said my name. Mary, he said. And it was his voice I recognized before anything else. My ears knew before my eyes did.
And that's what he told us. My sheep will know my voice. He was right.
And once you knew who he was, did he look like himself?
Oh yes, not quite like himself, but it was unmistakably him.
Oh, I wish we could get a look at him. We tried to get him to come on our show, but his agent hasn't returned our calls.
Well, he's all over the place. Galilee, Emmaus, Jerusalem, sometimes in the same day.
Quite a media tour. Happens to a lot of our makeover subjects. Everybody wants to know how you do it. Well, it takes willpower and a lot of hard work.
Actually, that's not what Jesus taught at all. He said what it takes is believing and doing what the Father asks. He knew this was going to happen to him. He told us. But we couldn't believe what he said. But we believed in him, and that, he said, means we're not going to die either. Oh, we'll die like he did, but we'll rise again like he did too. New body, same spirit, pretty amazing.
You're going to rise again, too.
It's what he said would happen. He said we were going to be with him where he's gone. And I know this body ain't going to get me there, so I'm figuring a new one like his.
Well, this would be extraordinary. If everyone gets a new body, nobody would need to do our show anymore.
Oh, there will always be suckers who want to come on your show. They want it fast. They want it now. They don't want to wait till this life is over. They actually think that if they change the way they look, it's going to change their life here and now.
What we found out is that knowing Jesus made the biggest change in our lives, right here, right now. Only we don't have to be humiliated by having plastic surgery on national television. We've learned the freedom and humility, just being who you are before God.
And we don't have to change our faces. We're being transformed into the likeness of Jesus. That's the makeover we're looking for. Gradually, we're going to look more like him.
Yeah, we don't have to have a doctor suck the fat out of our kidneys or stomachs. Jesus taught us how to remove the fat out of our lives. To leave all that stuff chains us down and follow him, not worrying where you are going to sleep or what you're going to eat.
Or what you're going to wear. No shopping consultants for us. He promised if we didn't worry about it, we always have enough to wear and eat.
We don't have to have our scars lasered away or tucked up. Jesus has shown us that there is strength in healed wounds. I saw them. I touched them. By his words we were healed. Isn't that what he says in Isaiah? It took his being broken for us to be made whole. I think that means God is going to keep working through our broken places and healed wounds too, to help other people.
There is one kind of surgery we're going to have that God has promised to those who believe in him. A heart transplant. He said, I will give you a new heart, and a new spirit I will put within you. Jesus' resurrection is like a down payment on that promise.
And when we get that new heart and become more like Jesus, we're going to find out who we really are, who God really made us to be. And we're going to find out why God loves us so much, and we'll love ourselves too. That's the ultimate reveal. Then we will know, even as we have been fully known.
You're serious? You can actually get a makeover like that?
Each one of us is in the process of makeover just like that. Only now that Jesus is risen, I know God's going to complete the job with me too.
So how would I go about applying for one? I can make a great application video in no time.
What do you think, guys?
Well, I think we're not quite organized yet. I'll come back in about 50 days, and I think we'll be ready to sign up.
I'll